Good morning. How is everybody? Well, it's Saturday, and just as promised, we're going to be doing hand-eye techniques. Sorry, I'm a couple minutes late, but I started the video. Good morning, Josephine. I started the video and the app shut down. So I had to restart again and type everything again. But I am here. Good morning, Barb. So good to see you girls. We're gonna have fun today, I think. This is probably one of my favorite parts of just playing with silk. When I started doing flags, like I have said in other videos, I didn't know how to do it. So what I did, I just went on this research on different techniques, and one of the techniques that I came across was the shibori technique. And I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, but it is a very, very fun technique that you could apply to your silks, that you could apply to anything, actually clothing, whatever it is. Good morning, Sue. Good morning, Becky. And so today we're just gonna have fun with that. It's really, really, really cool because you could get a lot of, you could interpret a lot of the things that you're seeing in the spirit through some of these techniques. And you could actually, I would say, even draw with trails and squares and shapes, and just try to translate exactly what is it that you're trying to translate into yourself. And it's pretty easy and it's fun and anybody can do it. So today I'm just gonna show you the basics of it. And I got some things laid out over here that are gonna be fun to look at. And I'm gonna be turning this around. Hold on a second. Everybody had a good week so far? Mine was busy, but it was productive and it was a blessing. So we really didn't stop all week long. So it was fun. And all I kept thinking about was today. I said, oh my God, I can't wait to get there. So what we have, remember the hankies that I said that I was gonna bring? We actually, let me see how many I got. We got one. I should have counted them before. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So let's see how much we could get done today. Yeah, it was an exhausting week for a lot of people. It was productive. You just did so much. And we should be thankful that we're able to get exhausted, because that means that we're able to do things, right? So many people wake up and they cannot, they're bedridden, or they're just bound to a wheelchair or something like that. Good morning, Jessie. How are you? So we got 12 hankies. Let's see how far we get from them. Then I have some rubber bands. These, I don't know if you can see it, excuse my band-aid, but I pull a little piece of skin. These are clear. These are silicone rubber bands that you buy at Sally's in the hair section. The reason I like these versus the rubber, these are made out of silicone, versus these, which are made out of rubber, is that when you microwave these break really easy. They just snap. So you don't have to go through the process of trying to cut off your rubber bands. Good morning, Lucia. Good morning, Ernesto. How are you? So these you actually have to cut off. You have to cut them off from your silk. Then I have regular rubber bands right here. And we have some rocks. And we're gonna talk about these and why I love using these. But with these techniques, you could actually, how are you this week? Did you like your flags? And guess what I have here? Can you see it? These are beans. So for this, dried beans, actually black eyed peas, not beans, but you could actually use anything that you like to use. Anything that is small, big, you could just, anything that you could tie to fabric, you could use in this technique. So I just wanted to show you that sometimes peas and beans are good. We also have these zip ties. Now you have to be careful with these when we use them for this technique, especially if you're microwaving the silk, because I have purchased some of these that have actually melted in the microwave. So you have to really be careful. And what I recently, in the last couple of weeks, I bought these that said heavy duty, and what they did, they were thicker and bigger, and what happened in the microwave was a bigger mess. It was a heavy duty mess. So you really have to be careful. Now, if you're doing tub dyeing, then of course you're not microwaving them, so they will be perfect to do this. So just keep that in mind. And then I also have these clips. Anything that can hold things together, you could use in this technique. Amen. So what, and we have, where's my needle? And then we have thread. And we have a needle that has been threaded already. And we have an auto fade marker. So these are just a few of the things that you could use for these techniques, and it's just fun. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn the phone around and put it to face the table, and I'll be talking through the techniques. And if you guys have any questions, just let me know. I have my pad right here in front of me, so I'll be able to see you guys better. And and I don't know if we're gonna have time for this, but I also have a mason jar. This is, I think, 32 ounces, if I'm not mistaken. It's 4 cups, so that's 32 ounces. And basically, you could do like small projects like this, small scarves in these. When it comes, instead of doing tub dyeing, instead of spending, if you just have to do like a small scarf, then don't be going out there getting this big pot of dye going when all you could use is a mason jar. And I have actually used smaller ones, the 16 ounces, for little projects like this, and they're fun, especially if you're doing them with kids. These are great. So we're gonna see if we have time for this. And then of course we have our dyes. So let me turn this around, take a sip of my coffee. Move this around. And I'm gonna go here. Ta-da! All right, it looks nice and clear from here. Hopefully we can see everything. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Okay. So here's our hankies. Shibori is an Asian technique that was used to dye the silk that was made for kimonos and clothing and things like that. And how I became so intrigued by the patterns that you could achieve with it that I went ahead and I bought a book, and I've been looking for it. And I believe I'm the type of person that I love to let people borrow stuff. and then I lose track. Good morning, Amber. I lose track of who I lend it to. So I don't know who has it, because all my books are usually in one part of the house in my office. So, excuse me. So it's like, oh my God, what happened to the book? But anyway, know that there are tons of books out there. You could also go to Pinterest and just research chivalry. And I'll write down how it's spelled is Shibori. And you could see, especially, it's very famous in indigo. And you're gonna just love it. Oh, so you should try it. It's so much fun. It really is. It really is. And sometimes what I do, good morning, Jan, how are you? Sometimes what I do, if I am led to do a chivalry scarf or flags, I have flags that somebody, like, I just have this set of flags that was ordered from the UK, and she loves the shibori technique that I do on the flags. So what I do is I put on, if I'm watching a movie with my husband or maybe just watching TV, I just sit there with my scarves and just tie the stones, do the technique. So just for fun. It could be time consuming. That's why we're just doing the little hankies today. Because if you look at it, if you think about it, this is just, you're gonna see how long it takes. I mean, the rocks is really simple. Everything is very simple, but it could be very time consuming, especially when you're using the needle and thread. So, but what I wanna start with is let's start with the rocks, because that's probably the most simplest ones. Now, the rocks are very significant to me. I would not let a rock cry out in my place. That's what these stand for me. These are a reminder when I use these and my flags. It serves me as a reminder of that I'm not gonna let anything stop me from praising the Lord, from worshiping the Lord. There's not going to be not one rock crying out in my place. And when I put these in my silk, I'm declaring that. I'm saying, Lord, I'm not going to let any rock cry out in my place. And how we tie these, you could do it in different ways. You could use the thread. And this thread is actually extra strong. It's used for upholstery, as you can see right here. You could use this thread. This thread is the thread that they use for jeans, and it's very thick. But it's also more flexible than the one for upholstery, which is more hard and more stiff, as you can see. See how it stands up? This one, see the difference right there? Hold on. Let me hold it. This one is very flexible versus this one that sticks right out. So, but you could use any thread. The reason why I like to use the thicker thread is because, good morning, Sherry, is because I tend to pull, and I like my technique to be very tight and strong, and I break my thread very easily. So that's why I use the thicker thread. And today I'm gonna be using the yellow thread, which is the jean thread. If you look at your jeans and you see that golden thread going in on the side, that's basically what this is. And just by looking at your jeans and the side of your jeans, you're gonna notice that it's thicker than any thread that you have used before. So you could actually take the rocks and use thread to do that. Or you could just, and I like to do it this way, just gently bunch everything up at the bottom. Then take a rubber band. And we're gonna use both of the black and the silicone so that you guys can see what I'm talking about. when you do this, let me start again. You're gonna go like this, but you stretch not to a point where you break it, but you stretch it enough so that it could be taut. And I use these two fingers. It's just nature for me. And I just go like this. And there you have it. Now, when you look at a silk, now remember what we've spoken about being connected with the Lord, and He will tell you where to place everything. The same thing goes to this technique. So for this hanky, I am gonna do like a gradient of stones. So this one is probably medium size, so I'll probably go with this one next. And you could use anything. As you can see, I have different shades. When we go to the beach or we go somewhere and I see stones that I'm attracted to, I pick them up. But these are actually picked up from when I do my candle arrangements and I switch them out. I have kept the stones, and when I started dyeing silk, they just came very handy. Now hold on a second. I put this one here, so I'm actually gonna put this one here, right there. Now, if you want a pattern of stones, then you could take the marker and actually mark that pattern, 1 X or 1 dot for each stone. I'm trying to keep my hands down so that you guys can see what I'm doing, because I tend to get I kind of move quickly sometimes. I have to catch myself when I'm doing this with you guys. So we have that there. And I'm gonna choose a smaller one. I don't know how much of a smaller one this will show, but I'm actually gonna put this one here. And I have some little tiny itty bitty rocks that I use. I should have brought some. I'm using the black ones on this. See, I just use these fingers for some reason. And when you have one finger left, just that you know that you have, once you can't do it more than a finger, then you know that that's it right there. I'm gonna take some beans, actually peas, and I'm just gonna do one here. Now for these, because they're so tiny, the rubber band, the thickness of the rubber band is gonna make a white edge. So if you want something very thin, then you could use the thread. So you could leave these for last, or you could just try to experiment with it. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use one of the silicone. With the silicone, you have to stretch it out. Then you press it there. Now, I wanna stop right there, but what I'm gonna do is, underneath this, I'm gonna put another bean. Another pea, actually. Can you guys see that? Okay, then you're gonna take your you're gonna bound it under it. I think I could get it one more time. So you have two. And you can actually keep building it downward, like do like a couple, and you could even see how the edge of the hanky ends here. All right, don't let that worry you, because that's gonna make, actually, when you go like this and you put another rubber band, let's say like right here, it's gonna look like the pattern is actually coming from the bottom up. You'll see when we finish. And I would use, let me see, I'll use another one of these. These get to be stretched so big that sometimes all I do is double them, especially if I'm only doing one area. So we'll go there, squeeze that in. Probably, sorry, I keep getting out of the camera. Right there. So we have this, and I'm probably gonna put another P right here. Only this time I'm going to leave it as is. Now, like I said, if you want to do this at with a smaller edge, you could do it with a thread. I'll do another one right here. And sometimes you don't have to do the whole thing. I mean, all you need is a corner, maybe a portion of it. Okay. Like for this one, I'm envisioning it going this way. So I probably end up with this P like right around here. So I think we're done with this one hanky. Oh, I forgot to show you the PVC, but we'll do that right now. So we have this one right here. And actually, let me see. We got one there, one there. I think that should be good. Although I'm feeling like it needs something around here. But we'll leave it like that, just for the sake of the tutorial. So we'll put this aside. Now, if you're going to be doing any patterns, you could use the pen. If you're gonna, like for example, a heart, you want it to be the same in the center, then basically what you do is you trace a heart, a half a heart. Into your silk. Jan, these are the tiny ones. They just stretch out so big. I know, and you know, I bought these at Sally's and at Walmart I have gotten them, so, but yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Excuse me. Let me grab me some water. I have like a dry throat this morning. Good morning, Sherry. So once you trace this, you basically gonna pleat it. And how I do this is, I don't know if you guys can see it, but let me see. Can you guys see that? Basically what it is you kind of fold it really tiny and you follow that line. Can you see that? So you fold in it really tiny like this. Da-da-da-da. See that? And I have done this with I have actually done this technique of tracing the line, but I've done it with needle and thread, which we're gonna do it with needle and thread as well. But I want to show you that for a heart like this, all you actually need is to get it in there. It's easier in the flag because of course it's bigger. And then once you have that there, that's where you will place your rubber band. See that? I think I got it pretty much. And like I said, it's easier with the just align all the line together. It's easier with the flag because the flag is bigger. And in a hanky, it would be better if you sew it in something smaller, or if you want a smaller heart, it's easier if you sew it. But I just want to show you, just imagine this being a big silk and you're doing that, and then you take a rubber band, or in the silk, I would actually use one of these because it's really simple to use. Let me see if I could use it, because this thing is so tiny though. This really holds it really good. Because this is actually what I use in a flag if I'm doing this technique for a large heart. It's kind of hard to do it when... Kind of position that, the pencil marking right there, kind of hold it. Okay, now I'm gonna try to budge some of this to be aligned, because I kind of got out a little bit, but you guys get the idea, right? Like I said, it's easier when you do it with a flag because you could actually see it. But once you do this, cut the end and be very careful that you don't cut the silk. So see how I'm pushing this? Cut this end, because then you won't have this melting. You have a bigger mess. But there it is, right there. And from here, you could actually do a border, and you could actually pleat it the same way. This one is not perfect. This is just gathered, and you could like spread it like that. I'll do the other one here. We'll make this the zip-tied hanky. You guys should see me doing these. Sometimes I go like this and I take my mouth and I just pull it. Good morning. So like I just did right now that you guys didn't see, thank goodness, using my teeth. But it's kind of hard when you're doing these things with these zip ties, because especially if you work alone like I do. So then you turn around and you cut it. So this is going to be our zip tie hanky. And when it's ready to go, we'll put it aside. Now, this one, we're gonna use the PVC pipe. And I have it right here. Now you could use a wooden stick. You could use anything. It's just that I just happen to have this there. And what you do is you basically start with the corner. You tie, you could do it either way, but I'm gonna start with the corner so that we could tie this here. Let me go this way. And I'm gonna do it diagonally. And I'm gonna do a double small hair bands, Jan. Oh, there you go. Yeah, the one for braces. Oh, you're welcome, Jan. You're welcome. I'm kind of catching up with this thread because I'm over here focusing on the silk, but you're welcome. Oops. Maybe not. Oh yeah, there you go. There we go. I think one of them broke, so it's good that I had two. Okay, so you have that there now. Just a tiny bit of silk at the top. So now you could either take a big rubber band and start doing this, just going and going and then pushing it upward like this. But we're gonna do some thread. Actually, I'm gonna take this from here because it's big and you guys can't see it. Let's see, I made a mess in here. I didn't come prepared to use this. If not, I would have straightened it out. But it's easier for you guys to see it. So what you want to do is basically tuck this under here if you can. Let's see. If I would have known this, I would have put that there prior to doing this. But it's all good, right? Let's see. There it is, right there. Okay. So what you do is you take this and you wind it around, and you could actually make a knot so it doesn't slip out. And you could use any thread. You could use wax thread. The only thing with wax thread is if you're steaming, it may transfer into the silk. So I rather not. Now, keep in mind, this is red, so we may have a surprise when we get it out of the microwave, okay? So what you do is you basically start winding and winding. And as you're winding, can you guys see? You're bringing it this way. Ta-da, ta-da, ta-da. Let's roll it. This is like child's play. This is fun stuff. It's not stressful. Don't get all wild out that you did it wrong. It's not coming out the same way. No, this is fun. This is stuff for you to relax and have fun. You know, the things of the Lord, He wants us to have fun in life. So, having said that, just try to have fun when you do these techniques. Sorry, I keep forgetting you guys are there. So, we're going like this, and as we're going and we're tightening, try to have the same space that you would have. Now, you could go as thinner as you want, but today we're just gonna do it this apart. Now, you're gonna tighten here, and then as you do that, you're just gonna keep rolling, 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 rolling. And you could do a gradient from thin to thick, which I'm gonna leave it like that because it looks kind of cool. But once you get here to almost the end, you're gonna take this and you're gonna push it down. See that? I'm not gonna have enough to go all the way down to the actual hanky, but we're gonna leave it there. And then we're gonna take a bigger rubber band. I should probably go this way because it's shorter. Distance is shorter. And we're gonna bind that. And I know you guys see that I'm having problems here. But it's all good. So just make it really tight. Now this area here, like I said,
just have fun. See what happens. And we'll go from there. But this is just the technique. And you could do it with thread, and you could be very precise, or you could just have fun and do it random, like we just did right now, and just tie it there. You could do it also with rubber bands. So you just wrap the silk around the stick, whether it's a pipe, a PVC pipe, or a wooden stick. An old wooden spoon. If you have an old wooden spoon that you don't mind getting full of dye, then go right ahead and use it, and just wrap it a lot with the rubber bands. Now this area here, I'm just gonna leave it like that for now. Unless, wait, hold on, I may be able to kind of bring this down a little bit and kind of bring it up this way. Yeah. But that's basically one of them. And it's not that perfect, but I'm gonna go to this end and I'm gonna show you something else. You're gonna take this. Let's do it this way. And you're gonna fold it like an accordion. Then, once you do that, you're going to wind it. And you could either wrap it around the rod, the stick, or you could leave it as is and tie it here. How would you do that is you would actually because this hanky is kind of short. Good morning, Sabrina. Hi, Bev. Hey, Wanda. Catching up. Hey, Megan. The hanky's so little, it could slip out. Whatever works, that's right. I mean, I could be here for hours trying to put this like really, really perfect. But you guys get the idea. So once it's there, you could either put a rubber band on it. This is fun stuff. It's for us to have a good time, right? And I'm gonna bring it up to the top because so this way it's easier for me to put in. All right, I'm gonna take a double rubber band. All right, this Band-Aid, it's really getting on my way. Let's see if I can do this. There it goes. When I got that book the first time, I just tried most of all their techniques because I wanted to see how they translate it. And that's how I found my perfect one. Oh, not my perfect one, the one that I like the most. There we go. So let's see how I get that other rubber band here. I'll probably use another one. Yes, I used the salt technique. Oh, it did? It melted into the silk? I don't use the salt technique in the microwave. I use it only when I paint. And then what I do when I paint the silk, you know, you stretch it out and then you could add the salt. Here we go. And what I do is before I steam it, I brush it off. I don't leave it on because the silk is already, you guys notice that I'm wrestling with this, right? So what I do is I I just go right ahead and remove it before I brush it off. I have this brush and I just brush it off with the, before I put it in the steamer. Okay, that's actually pretty good right there. All right, so here we have this end and then we have this end, okay? So we have the rocks, we have the zip ties, and now we have these two examples on a rod. All right, so that's 4 silks. Now, here we go. One of the things, oh, and by the way, I do have to say that I tie the silk and I do the technique of tying before I get it wet. I never do it while it's wet. And once it's tied up, then I put it into my solvent to get everything, you know, my textile detergent, okay? So it's easier for you to work on dry material. So over here, we're gonna do, let's see, the folding technique. And it's basically, you fold the silk in whatever way you feel led to do it. I'm gonna fold it like this. Now I usually iron it. I'm gonna do it like this. But I'm not gonna do it today. I'm not gonna go over there and iron it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna use these clips to hold it in place for now. Now some people pleat it, some people do it diagonally. And some people just play around, you know, with the folds. But right now, this is how we're gonna do it. Let's see, Jessie. I thought I would try to steam the saw and see what happens just for fun. Apparently not good. Oh. Hey, that's how we learn, right? That's exactly how we learn. So, so right now, I'm just gonna leave it like that. Let me put another one. Well, no, because I'm gonna need a couple of these. I wanna show you. Anything that you could tie or hold your silk in place works. And we're gonna do an accordion right here. And like I said, I usually tie it, bind it. You could put ribbon. It's like making a fan, you know, when we were kids. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna take this here and I'm just going to, I don't have, if you have like little pieces of tile or hard cardboard, you could actually tie this down, but, or you could sew that, which I'm gonna show you right now. You could leave this open like this and then just, the pattern will be right here. You could clip it, or you could use a rubber band. But with a rubber band, I think it would be nicer if it was just a little tighter, but we'll use this one. Yes, Sue, that's what I do. I just let it sit, let it absorb the color when I'm hand painting silk. I've never done it in hand dyeing. Have you done it on hand dyeing? I'm just going to. There we go. So we have that there. Oh, I'm gonna have to try it. So you just let it sit it out. Here's another one. By the way, I got a little tripod That's why it was so easy for me to transfer today. I'm gonna try that too. I usually remove these, but I have forgotten. Okay. So now for the pattern of sewing. This is a fun part. I love this. There's different types of ways that you could do it. And just experiment with it. Now I usually, because the silk is so thin, I usually tie a bead at the end. And what that does is, I don't have to tie a knot on the silk, and it doesn't pull on the silk. But today I didn't get a bead. Let me see what I can use. And you just, maybe I could just use a couple of these. Because it holds better when it's being held by something versus you making a hole on the silk and tying a knot. And then if you make a knot on the thread, the knot, because the silk is so thin, sometimes the knot goes through it, especially if you tie it as tight as I do. So we're just gonna do that right there. Just tie something at the end of it so that it doesn't go through the silk. And here, you could do circles. You could do waves. You could basically do anything. To do circles is actually pretty simple. And I thought that you actually had to do the circle and then go around the whole circle. No, just fold the fabric where it is that you want the circle. And then you turn around and, well, we'll use this fold. And you draw a half circle. And I'm just doing freehand. You know, when you guys are doing this on your own, just do as you feel led. So for this, we're gonna start right here. You insert the needle, and then you're gonna do a simple stitch. Okay, I'm gonna keep that in mind. So it's up, it's down, up, down. The smaller you do you're gonna get a different effect with bigger stitches and smaller stitches. So just keep that in mind. The only thing that I recommend is that you keep them consistent. So in this circle, we're doing about that big. So you just keep going and going. Now remember, with this marker, once you put it in water, it disappears. Now, if you're gonna do more than just circles, make sure that you write that with the marker on your silk, so that you see where you're going. Because once you start tying and doing all this stuff, it's gonna be hard for you to figure out where it goes, if that makes any sense. Okay, I wanted to show you guys how this looks. Can you see that? Now, because I'm using the thicker thread, then of course I'm using the a single stitch, you know, one thread. But if you're using the thinner thread, I suggest that you use two, a double thread. So over here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you another stitch in this little section here. And what it is you go in the back, then you turn it, then you go like this. See what I'm doing? It's like a wave. Can you guys see that? I'm gonna do it again. So you start from the back, go forward, then you take the needle and go to the back, then you take the needle and go through the back. So you have like a wave there. All right, now you're gonna pull your thread and you're gonna go into your next circle and you start up here. Now this one I'm gonna do really, really tiny. See what that comes out like. I prefer the first one, but you never know. So you go small. You guys, I need a manicure. Don't look at my nails. Not so much my nails, it's the skin around my nails. Like I told you, I hate gloves, so do wear gloves. So you go around the circle, simple up and down, keeping the same size. I'm trying very hard, but see, I love it's like changing my programming because I love the bigger stitch. Let me take this and fold it back so that you guys can see better. All right. Ah! And be careful with your fingers behind it. Okay, here we go. All right, so you take the needle, you pull it through. And there's your other circle. Now here, we're gonna do another stitch. That is Kimberly and Alberto Rivera. I love their music. That's their soundtrack for prayer, soaking prayers. And it's just the beautiful tones in, oh, it's just beautiful. I love it. They have guided prayer as well, which is amazing. So here we go. So what you do is instead of going like this, like we did before, you're just going to take this here. Hold on a second. And you're just gonna keep going this way. Actually, let's do another one because that's basically what I just did. Let's see. Wait, for the other one that I want to show you, I have to have a flat. I have to have the flat fabric. So we're just gonna do what we did the first time around, which is do the wave. Because I forgot that we're folded here. We'll do that one on silk. See how that goes? See the wave right there? I just love it. Okay, so we're there so far. And then we'll do this one, and I'm gonna do this one bigger so that you guys can see the difference. We're gonna go probably here like that. Probably a little more. Ta-da, ta-da. God, you're so amazing. I just love the Lord. You know, you guys can use this time. It's just amazing. I mean, imagine just you being there all by yourself. He's always with you. So what a this is just a beautiful opportunity for all of us to spend time with the Lord. Yeah, I love their music. I love their music. So over here, we'll do the same. We'll go from the back, and you could do from the front, but for me, it just works better for, I guess, the mechanics on my hands work better going from the back, forward and back. So now that we're here, now here comes where we are going to pull. So we will pull ever so gently. You see that? And this is where I was telling you that I like it tight. So, because I like it tight, I will make a hole on the silk. The stuff will, which it works, the rubber bands work perfect, but I usually tie a bead. It will just come through. So I started tying a bead in there and just gently, but tug to where it's very, very tight. Then you take this here and you could actually tie it to the bead over here in the back, which I usually just go around the bead and tie it. But in this case, because we have those rubber bands, I'm just gonna make a tiny, tiny knot on the silk, although I don't like to do that. Now you could bind this thing around, just wind the thread around. But because of the circles, I don't want them to get marred or anything. So what I will do is make sure that this is tight, and then I would loop it. And we're not gonna really make this knot really tight. It will stay there because it's gonna be hard for us to get it out. So just leave it right there. But right now, see how nice and tight it is? There's your 3 circles. 1, 2, 3. And everything is in there. Now, if it's a larger piece, then you're able to bind this with the rubber band. Right there. See, you follow the line, but we're gonna leave it like that and see how it comes out. It should be fine, although I feel like it needs to be tighter. I wish I had that bead, but it should be all right. We'll leave it like that, and we'll cut this here. So that's our circles. You could also what can we try to do? Let me see. Let me see. I'm just gonna freehand this here. All right, that's just freehand really quick. It's not perfect, but here we're gonna do the same. We're gonna tie, wish I had that bead. I have to go look deep and see. Okay, here we go. So you could actually sketch on your silk and then do the same technique that we did on the circles. You could do it on your sketch. So remember when we did the heart with the zip ties? You could actually draw a heart and then go back with your needle and thread and stitch around it. And this is good when you don't have a mirror image. For example, the heart is a mirror image. When you look at a heart, if you draw a half, the other half is the same. But when it's not a mirror image, then this technique works really, really good. And what you would do is basically you draw your image and you will just stitch up and down, and it shouldn't really take you long. Of course, depends how much you've drawn. So we're gonna go around this here. Up and down, up and down. And this is pretty cool because what happens is you could actually do it in such a way that if you tie it really tight, then the dye will stay in place and will not enter the inside. You guys can see? But because this hanky is so small, it's kind of hard to really, unless you use, now here at the peak, when you get to the peak, you're gonna go down on the peak and then you're gonna turn. Actually, bring the needle here, then expand it so that you can see what you're doing. And then bring the needle up. I just lost my thread. Hold on a minute. Oh, let's see. And I can't see, hold on. There we go. I had to take off my glasses in order to see. It's terrible because I have progressive, and let me tell you, sometimes they help, sometimes they don't, but it's all good. Okay, so then you bring it back up, and that's when you start going around. Now you're gonna do the same thing at the tight corners, and I'll show you when we get here. See, you keep turning. So once we're there, we pull onto that corner and then we turn the silk around and we'll start again here. And this is like super, it's relaxing, guys, because you have worship music going in the background. Of course, I'm talking to you guys now, but usually if it's just me, just talking with the Lord, having a conversation or just telling him how much you love him. And you know, the music is playing, and sometimes I have worship music, sometimes I have praise music. And just really, really live the lyrics. Really, really sink into the lyrics. Don't just sing them. Mean what you're singing. You know, concentrate on really focusing on what you're singing. And you're gonna find that the experience is completely different. It really, really is. And it becomes your prayer. It becomes your conversation with him. See over here, we ended up, I pulled it on the back And now I'm gonna go pick up right there where the next stitch is. Then I'm gonna turn it around. Now it looks like I'm not gonna have enough thread, but because we're pulling, we will have enough thread. Remember, we're usually just using like a couple of inches of this thread once we pull, especially if it's silk. If you're doing linen or cotton, then it's completely different, but it's still the same mechanics. So just focus on the music and concentrate on the lyrics and know what you're singing. Sometimes we get so caught up because we know the lyrics, we know the songs, that we automatically we sing them and on autopilot. And this is the time when we really need to soak on what is being spoken, on what is being sung, on what the music, the worship lyrics are saying, the praise music is saying. And you're gonna find that it always speaks to you in a different way. See that corner again? I went all the way down to the bottom. Now I'm gonna come over here and pull it. And then I'm gonna start right there. And I'm gonna pull it again. I'm gonna come this way. Just this last week, I have so much worship and praise music that I have collected through the years, and I was just thinking for something that was slow, soaking. I just wanted to love on God, and I started playing this soundtrack that I had not heard in a long time. And when I tell you that when I started listening to the lyrics, and I have heard this hundreds of times, and when I started listening to the lyrics of these songs, I just bawled. They took a whole new meaning. Even though I've heard them before in other seasons, they just took a whole new meaning. And that's what worship is supposed to be. It's supposed to be for that season. It's supposed to be for that day. We're supposed to be able to feel it, not just listen to it and just be on autopilot. We're supposed to feel everything that we say, everything that we sing. Take it to the heart, you know. Pure worship in spirit and in truth comes from the heart. You feel it. You feel the love that you have for the Lord, but you also feel the love that He has for you. And this is what it does for me every time I'm working on silk, or on anything for that matter. Because remember, silk is just an outlet. It could be canvas, it could be anything. Working at work, driving down the road. Okay, so now we have that. You guys see it? So lay it out and start pulling on it gently. But what you want to do is for a pattern like this, you want to make sure that the center is sticking out. So as you do this, start pulling, especially on this peak right here. Turn it up. And before you tie it really, really tight, go in the center. See this? How it's sticking on this? This is the bottom. You want to turn all this to the top. Just turn it right there. And then continue to pull. Let's see. So you inspect the bottom. Make sure that everything is tucked under. See that? And over here, just kind of like arrange it. And go back to this side. And just pull on it. but at the same time, come over here and start really making sure that everything is in one. See that? Now once that is done, then you could tug it. At this point, inspect it. Make sure that everything is in its place. You could probably go around once. And I would usually, when it's in the center of the fabric, of the silk, I don't like to tie a knot because it could mar the silk, especially if you're doing this on a 5 mama weight. So I usually take it and I tie a knot. Go around it once and tie a knot with a thread, which this band-aid is not doing me any justice today. Ta-da-da-da. All right. Let me see, you guys see that? Now if you're doing like I'm doing, that the bottom, the other part is too short, just take your needle and go through it by holding the short part. Can you see it? So that you could create a knot. There. And there it is. So we're gonna find out how this is gonna come out. Got it? All right. So we'll cut this little thread. And let's see, how many hankies we got? We got quite a few left. Oh my goodness. All right. So you could do waves. You could do anything that you want, basically. And let's see, is there anything? What was that other stitch I wanted to show you guys? That technique of that you do for the same up and down can be done here to make lines. You could do it to make waves. You could actually go like, let me see if you guys can see this. I hate to make a knot. Hold on. See if we could do this. Or actually, maybe I could. Well, we'll make it a rubber band. Alrighty. So you could take the needle diagonally. I'm gonna start in the corner. You could take the needle diagonally and go up, then go across. Actually, let me show you how it's done. So you go from here to here, then from here to here, and then from here to here, and then from there to here, and then from there to here, and then diagonally, then down, then this way, then up. And actually, I kind of messed up, but let me see. Then up and then across. I kind of switched it around here, but that's okay. You guys see what I mean. So once you do the dots, then what you do is you connect the dots from there to there to there to there to there to there, ta-da, to there. Once it starts getting cumbersome, then you just pull the needle. See that? Then you go from there to here, and then up, then down. Now these stitches like this are perfect for the borders. Sometimes you just want to make a separation between two colors, and you could do that by using zip ties. Sometimes, like I have used a technique to make like lightning bolts. So once you're done, let me show you what it looks like. See, once it's like that, then you could pull it. And this one in particular, what we're gonna do is make sure that these things are pulled up. I think I pulled that on the camera. So once that's there, we'll make a knot right here. And you could actually, if you want to be sassy, and I've done this before, and you get a result that you don't expect, because you have a pattern going, but then when you have the pattern and you pull it, you take that same needle and you go through the whole thing and then tie it on that side, you will get a different line that goes along, but it may not match that first one. But it's always fun to find out what happened. And I don't have a needle pusher. Maybe I could do it this way. There it goes, so that you guys can see, and you'll be able to defer which one is which. And then come back over here and tie that knot. And we're gonna do it by holding the short string and just looping this on the shorter string. And we're gonna take that again, and we're gonna go around it. See that? Do an extra one. Perfect. And you could do it that way. You could tie it with a rubber band, or you could just bind it. And can't you guys wait until this? I can't wait to see what these turn out like. Now, one of the things that you could do, and I'll save this for after I wet it, because there's some things that I do while they're wet. But you could also take your silk and bunch it up. Just bunch it up. And take a rubber band. And of course, the silk is not big enough, so it's kind of like coming forward. So let's do it again. Hankies are good, but you need some space. So let's do this again. Okay, you bunch it up. We're gonna do it differently this way. We'll leave something to be able to bunch up. Bunch it up, bunch it up. We'll leave the ends loose. So we bunch it up like this. All right, here we go. Then you take your rubber band and you bind it. There we go. Probably pull it down a little bit. That should be good. You have like that little thing right there. And I think, let me see. We got 2 more. Sometimes I do freestyle, and basically I just start pinching. And yes, sometimes I do the background sound. So without knowing what's gonna take place, because sometimes I just don't. I use a rubber band, and we're gonna use these nylon ones so that you guys can see how easy they come out in the microwave. Once they are microwave, they're so easy to come out because they just break. Now the black ones you have to cut, and you have to be very careful because you could cut the silk. So there we go. So we're gonna find out what that does. And then for this one, let's put a rock right here. Actually, no. Let's put a rock on the corner. And this is what we're gonna do. Okay, so here we have a rock right there, and then we're gonna go under here, and we're gonna put another rubber band. If I could separate these. I'm not gonna let a rock cry it out in my place. And we're gonna go here, put another rubber band. This one is double. That's okay. Let's see where I want it. Probably like right there. You guys see that? And then we're gonna take another one and we're gonna put it right here. We're just gonna keep going down. And you guys are gonna see what this does. This is so cool. And then you could actually like control the width of it, the space in between. It will give you different looks. So the closer that you are, the closer, I mean the tighter the pattern is. And then the wider that you are, the more color you could put in there, and actually you could actually blend 2 colors. So we're gonna do one more maybe down here. We're gonna leave it some space, but then right after this one, we're gonna do one that's really close to the edge because this is gonna be kind of our last one. And as you can see, sometimes I turn the rubber band, but when it gets to be this long, it's easier to just twist that thing. And then what you want to do is look at it, make sure that everything is even. You guys see that? Hi, Juanina, how are you? Did I say your name right? All right. So then we're gonna do one last one, but we left the space here, so we're actually gonna make it like really tight, like over here. And at this point, I only have the black ones, so let's see. And this is our last hanky. Ah, and it broke. Oh, here's a clear one. Much easier. We'll go like this, and we're gonna do it like really tight right there. Ta-da! You know, God just loves, our Lord just loves to spend time with us. And this is such an amazing time. I cannot say it enough times, you know. Whatever you do in life, whatever you do in the creative factor, whether it's at work, whatever it is, anything, not just in the creative and everything that you do, he loves to spend time with us. So just be conscious and have the awareness that the Lord is with you at all times. He doesn't just come in certain points. He is there at all times. And when we become aware of that factor, oh my God, life just changes. Things just take a different look. I'm trying to. There's like a little tight. See that bubble there? Hold on, guys. I'm going to have to plug you in. I just noticed that we are running out of battery. That's kind of weird. Hold on. I'm coming back. I've never run out of battery when I'm doing this, but I guess today is the day. Thank goodness I looked at it when it popped up, because you guys would have been saying, what happened to Margie? All right. Bringing the charger around. Usually my phone keeps the charge, but that's all good, right? All right. At least we noticed. Okay. So there's like a little bubble here. I don't know if you guys can see it, but we're gonna leave it as that, and you're gonna know. This is probably good for it to happen, because you're gonna be able to see that separation right there. So we have this here. We could add other stones here. You could do whatever you want in this area. You could actually turn around and even gather it around here. Hi, Lucia. Hey, Jenny. How are you? Okay, let's see. So here it is, this. So you could just, for fun, just to see what's gonna take place, you could tie that there and see what happens. The good thing about this is that just have fun. You know, scrap pieces of silk. These hankies, you could buy 12 for like $12 in Dharma, or $11. So they're a nice project for your girls, Lucia. And they're also good for projects in the ladies at church. To have like little prayer handkerchiefs. I have given them away as bookmarkers with a little encouraging word. So you could do many things with it. They're perfect little gifts. Mother's Day is coming. You know, you could do something special for the ladies at your church or your friends, and just buy a pack of these. They're not that expensive, and just have fun with it. And let yourself, practice being connected with the Lord so that he could show you what colors to use. And like I said before, you don't have to go and buy the professional dye. You could just go to Michael's and Joann's if this is all that you're doing, and just go right ahead and do the tulip tie-dye. It works perfect in silk. The only thing that I advise is that you soak your silk in water with some vinegar in it so that it really grasps the color. The colors will become more vibrant. And then just write a little word of encouragement, a little card, or just a little note, and hand them out to those people that you love. Put them inside greeting cards, and all those things. Oh, yes. I keep my scraps, and what I do is I saw the edges and I actually dye them. One day I see how many scraps I have, and I saw the edges with a serger, nothing big, something very simple. And I dye them, and I pass them on to the girls, to the young girls at church. And they use them as hair ties, for their ponytails. They just love it. They love the color. They love doing these things. So, and the ladies love them as well. So, but there's that one. We're gonna see what this one comes out like. And are you guys ready for some dyeing and see what takes place? I'm gonna move this stuff around. Now I put like a vinyl. I've had this thing in my painting area when I paint canvases, because it just it's easy for me to wipe off, and acrylic is so hard to get out of. So I have purchased this little piece of vinyl at Joann's, and that's what I use it for. So I figured, let me bring it out here, because then this way the dye will stay there. So we have all of these now. Now we have to get them wet, and I have a bowl where we're gonna put them in. Now remember this, we're just gonna have to dunk it one end and then dunk the other end. So I have a bowl here. Let me see if I could just... Can you guys see? Let's see. All right. So what I usually do is get those silks wet. Now this is warm to hot water. And I will usually put a little bit of that textile detergent in it, but for the sake of this, we're just gonna do the water. Since I'm using citric acid in my silk on the dye, it shouldn't, for this project, it shouldn't really make such a difference. But when you're doing large pieces and important pieces, I recommend that you wash your silk. So that when you, after you tie it, you put very hot water here, and you put a couple of drops of your textile detergent, or even a drop of Dawn. What you want to do is actually break up the grease, any grease that's left over. You want to break up anything, any impurities, any gum from the silk that is left over from the silk cocoons. So hot water and a drop of Dawn usually works well. So you don't have to go out and buy textile detergent unless you're gonna be doing a lot of silk. Okay. So once we get it wet, I'm gonna turn this around. Especially these right here. So I'm gonna move this out of the way. I'm gonna wipe this off. Remember what I said a couple of weeks ago? I think it was almost like 3-4 weeks ago. Save your old washcloths. Do you know how many moons this Christmas towel has seen? save them. If you're gonna be doing projects like this, don't throw them away. Just save them and use them for this purpose. You know, don't go out buying towels just for this purpose. Don't go using your good things. Just go right ahead and just use, and just keep washing them and putting them away just for this purpose. Okay? Let's see. So, let's see which one we pull out. Now, as we pulling these out of the water, I'm gonna wring them a little bit dry. And what I mean by that is I just roll them, squeeze them a little bit, and then I'm done. This is the one with the ties. So the ties help you keep the color within that tie. So in this case, I think I'm going to do, let's see. This is the heart that we did. So I'm gonna do a magenta. Let me fix this. You guys can see. There we go. Sorry, I had you off the. There. Okay. There we go. So very carefully, we're gonna do magenta here. And I should probably have my gloves on. Here we go again with gloves. This is why my skin is not, I can't keep up with my skin around my nails. It's because I hate wearing gloves. So don't make the same mistake I do. Just wear your gloves. And then I'm gonna put some of this purple, maybe on this end. Now it's still going to go the other way, but it's not gonna really spread as much as it would usually spread. It kind of contains, see, as you can see, it's bleeding a little bit, but that's all good. You massage it in, making sure that everything is in there. And then in the center, what color should we use? Let's do this purple. But I'm gonna go here, this way, and this way. See, this is where the creative process starts. You know, you start picking these colors, but then it's like the Lord shows you what to use next. If you are in that place, then you would recognize when you hear the word blue or you see the color blue. So that's when I don't question. Blue? Really? I don't know if that's gonna look good. No, I just pick up the color and I do it. Because God knows everything and the Lord is perfect in his ways. And if he tells you to do something, it's because it's gonna come out right. Why would he have you, hi Sandy, why would he have you do something that's not going to come out right? And that's when we need, and I've spoken about this before, that's when we need to trust in the Lord, to find that place where we trust his guidance. And not just with painting flags and dyeing flags, but with life itself. So just learn to trust him. At the beginning, when I first started, I'll be like, really? Is that gonna look good? But then I learned, he's like, Margie, if I'm telling you to do something, why would I set you up for failure? And that is so true. Why would the Lord set us up for failure? I mean, he's going to show us something that's just going to turn out beautiful, because he is beautiful and he is perfect. So everything that he gives us is perfect. Amen? So I'm going to put a little bit more of this color here. Now this is the edge. So I am being led just to touch up just a little bit of that with this purple. and then go back with this blue and go in between. There we go. And I'm not using much. I'm not even squeezing the bottle, as you guys can see. Now I have my Pyrex right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick this up and I'm gonna put it here. And what I'm gonna do with that, I'll show you later how I'm gonna separate these, because you don't want these colors to be tainted with one another. But because the hankies are so small, I'm able to put most of them in one shot. Actually, I think I'll be able to do all of them. So now we're gonna pick up this stitching and we're gonna ring it again. Just squeeze it. And we're gonna open it. Now my hands, I gotta tell you guys, I need a wet cloth so that I can wipe off my gloves. What happens is you guys have to be careful, because the colors that I just used on the hanky are gonna be in my gloves, and therefore they're gonna transfer here, which they did very slightly. But just keep that in mind when you're working on your silk, okay? What I do is the folds from the stitching, I kind of like to stretch them out a little bit. Now for this hanky, I'm going to keep it very simple. This is the ocean blue. I'm going to put it on the top, and then I'm going to pick it up for it to run. Now this color, all right, nothing ever goes to waste. Sometimes we think that because the color shifts, is no longer good. But let me tell you, sometimes it's just those beautiful mistakes, those things that we don't think that are gonna come out perfect, or they're not so perfect, that are gonna come out the most beautiful. So in this case, this is a very, very, very old blue, and is so old that it's actually wasted. And what I mean by wasted is the color itself is wasted. So when I put it over this, you're not gonna see any color, but you're gonna see the magic that this blue is going to do once we open up the silk, okay? So let us remember that. You're not gonna see this color, you're just gonna see its magic. And where we're gonna place this here is we're actually gonna place it on the lower end of it. So we're gonna come in here and kind of like spread this. See, there's no color in it. So what you do is just gonna go like this. There's hardly no color in it. Look at how dark this was. And usually it will come out, and it actually, you really would not know that. You will say, oh God, this color is not coming out right, because usually it will come out really dark when it's fresh. So, but God has a purpose for everything. So now we have that one, we're done. Actually, let me do a little bit of this dark, deep water, just a little drop right there, not too much. I'm gonna go like this. And I'm gonna put this in the pan. Now I'm gonna take this washcloth and I'm gonna wet it a little bit so that I could wipe off my hands, so that I don't have any dye, residue of dye in it. And then I'm gonna take my towel and wipe off the area, make sure that there's no residue from the other colors. Isn't this fun? Yes, anointed accidents. I love it. I just love it. All right. We're gonna go to this little bundle. You guys are gonna see what this turns out like. And see, as I'm removing this from the water, I'm already receiving what it's gonna look like. I see the colors. So the Lord is being proactive. And this is the one that we did the little bundle and we just tie the rubber band around. And what we're gonna do is we are going to start from the outside in. And here's my gold. I'm gonna start from the outside in. And I'm gonna massage it in, making sure everything is there. Now, what is this gonna do? It's gonna grab onto the bottom. Let me show you. See that? The bottom is dyed, but not the top. So right here, we're gonna take this and we're gonna add this kind of gold. It's called tabernacle gold. And we're just gonna saturate that little bundle in the middle. And then we are going to inject. I'm gonna turn this around. Actually, I'm gonna see if I could inject it. Usually, for something like this, I take like a syringe, and I go in there and I inject it. But we're gonna go like this. And just let it saturate. And then we're gonna go to the ends. And we're gonna turn this around. I'm just gonna let it drip a little bit because I don't want this, because we are doing multiple silks. We don't want this to translate onto the others, to leak onto the others. So I'm just gonna wipe it off just a little bit like that, just to grab onto any drops that have fallen, and I'm gonna put it in the thing. And I'm gonna wipe this off. All right, so what is next? Again, I'm wiping off my hands from that red dye. Those colors that I used, see? If you guys are not careful, you will transfer these colors, although they're okay. Sometimes they're meant to be. But then again, that's when it's important that we're in tune. Now wipe off. And we're gonna do this one. I'm gonna grab another towel because I grabbed the Christmas towel that I was using to squeeze this out. I used it for that red dye and I can't use it to squeeze this out. So I'm gonna keep this one for this purpose. See, this is another old towel. That, Deborah, that last color, it's the blood of Christ. Is a recipe that the Lord gave me last year on the Wednesday before Good Friday, and I use it. I love that color. I could be using it all the time, but I only use it when He instructs me, and it's a recipe that He gave me specifically, teaspoon by teaspoon. I mean, I buy the colors that make it, and I actually make a jar of that dye, and I was instructed to use it only when He you know, instructed me to use it. So I'm very, now I have to say, last week, the week prior to Easter Sunday, he had me add that color to every flag and every shawl that was being made that week. So, and it was the anniversary of the day that he had given me that recipe. And it was very profound. It was a week where, oh God, I can't even begin to tell you. Dyeing silk that week was completely different, and it just took a whole new meaning, especially when you use that color, because of how he gave me that color. How that color came about was just powerful, and I know what it represents. So, but it's called the blood of Christ. It's what I called it, because that's what he told me, you know, they're covered by the blood, it's sealed by the blood. And I have it there. I haven't gotten any release to share or to even make it available to anyone. He did allow me to share with one person, and you just have to, I have to be obedient. So I really want to give it to everybody. But I'm working on that I have to, even though I want to bless people, I have to make sure that I am being guided by him in all ways. So, and that's difficult for somebody that is a giver. If you are naturally a giver at heart, then it's hard for you to not share the things that Lord has given you. And sometimes it's for somebody, or sometimes it's just for one person, or sometimes it's for a congregation, but you just have to learn to listen and to trust them on when to release it. So that's that color. And this one is the one that we tied. Now, there are things that take place that I don't know how it happens, and this is one of them. Look at the silk. There is no dye. I have no powder in here. Everything has already been diluted. Everything has already been used. I just pulled this out of the bowl, and I have blue speckles on it. And you guys seen that there was nothing on these that were brand new. These hankies were brand new. And when I put these in that water doesn't have no blue. And there's actually blue speckles on it. Don't ask me. This is a Holy Spirit moment, like I call it. I don't know. These blue speckles show up, and I have no idea, and they show up sparingly. So I just say this is just a Holy Spirit moment, because I don't know where the blue comes from. And even though we use that blue, it's already been diluted. There's nothing in here. There's nothing in here. And if you guys can look, if you look at this water, there's blue right there. Speckles that just fell on top, and I don't know where they came from. So don't let that get you off guard when things like that happen. Just receive them and just enjoy them, and just move on, and just accept them as a gift. I take it as the Lord it's working with me here, and he's adding his own touch. And just enjoy it and smile. Amen. That's another thing that I do before I start these tutorials, or when I start anything. I basically just invite him. I said, you know, come on in and join me, and let's create together. Paint on this silk. Do what you want with this silk. I'm looking for this color that is called, here it is. I call it the Vineyard. And it breaks into this golden brownish. It's basically really, really beautiful. So we're gonna go here with this color. And then we are going to add some, where is it? Tabernacle. Here we go. And I'm gonna start over here. And what we're gonna do is, I'm gonna push it towards the purple, this olive color. And then we're gonna take the royal purple and we're gonna put it in this corner. Copper color. I have a color. So I'll share later. I don't remember the name from Dharma, but I mixed two colors and they look amazing. So I'll let you know. I'll post it in here later on. Okay, so we're pretty much done with this one. I am gonna pick it up over here and let that royal purple just drip down. And then I'm gonna pick it up and put it on the mold. And then I'm gonna wipe this off. I'm gonna make sure that I don't have anything in my hands. Bendiciones. Dios te bendiga, Yesenia. ¿Cómo estás? And then let's see. Okay. Here we go. This is the rock, the last one that we did. And I'm gonna do we'll do avocado in the first one. Can you see it? So you actually put it in the first base, avocado. And I'm gonna do green apple. You guys see that? Is this charging? Ta-da, ta-da. Trying to see if this thing is charging, guys. We'll do the green apples. I may have to run and get another cable. I don't want to lose you. I'm asking you, is this thing charging? And you guys don't even know. You're over there. Okay, here we go. Here's another color. Now this color looks great, but it's not. I'm using seda. Estoy usando seda. Inaida. I'm like, is this charging? But I can't, how can I ask that? Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. Okay, I'm gonna use the gold right here, but I may go back and use some Bahama blue. And then I'm gonna use gold here and here. And I may have to run and get some, my other charger because I don't think my phone is charging. Let's see, Bahama blue. Here we go. I'm gonna kind of put a little bit of the Bahama blue right there, and I'm gonna bring it in right here in this end, if you guys can see what I'm doing. So I'm actually mixing it with that gold, and then I'm gonna come, where is it? This is called Spruce, which looks beautiful with the we're gonna put it right there in the center. Ta-da! We're gonna put more gold in here. This is like a peach. I'm just gonna kind of wet it there and maybe add it here. Okay, let me go get my other charger. I don't want to lose you guys. Hold on. Hold on. Now usually my phone charges and it's good. The charge is good for the whole video and even more. So I don't understand why this is happening, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna move on, right? Okay. So I'm gonna unplug this. Maybe it's the cable that's not good. This is a brand new cable. Sorry, guys. Can't tell if it's charging or not. Let's see. I don't want to bump you guys. Okay. I don't want to bump you guys. Let's see. All right. So we got this, and I'm just gonna go like this. And we're gonna do what we did before, because it's got so much, kind of dab it so it doesn't transfer on the dish. And we're going to go to the next one. All right. I wish I could see the charge, if it's charging, but while it's on the Facebook Live, it's not really telling me, but I did plug it in. So hopefully that would work. So here's the one that we did. And I'm just gonna move this back here. And for this one, I'm gonna use the Raven, and I'm going to use it just along, very little. And I'm just gonna massage it to go this way. And we're gonna leave it like that. We're not gonna touch it. We're gonna leave it like that on the top. So we're gonna put this here. Now Raven is a color from Dharma that is a black, but when it breaks, it's actually like a blue black, like a raven. Now here, we got the tube. I'm gonna squeeze it dry a little bit. This is like a burgundy. So what we're gonna do is basically just and just for the sake of this, because we just want to see what it does. Can you guys believe we've been here 2 hours? I can't believe we've been here 2 hours. We just have too much fun. It's just a whole day of dyeing silk. And it's going to steam for like 6 minutes. We'll put this in there. And over here, we're gonna do this basically the same thing. But I'm gonna leave some space in between. And then in the middle, I'm gonna put some teal. And then just let it soak through. Blend it in a little bit. Okay. Now, I just messed up my last clean towel. I can't believe I did that. All right, so we got that. Set that aside. And then, where's my washcloth to wipe off my dye? We got a couple more, and those blue speckles are just showing right up. And it's so good. I just give God thanks. So here's the one that we pleated like a fan. And I'm gonna use this color, which is another burgundy, but it's not, it's actually like a mauve. I have a salmon, here we go, that we would add right here. Let it drip down. And I would probably put a little bit of drops right there. Now my mold is pretty much filled, as you guys can see. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a layer of saran wrap over that. If you guys could see what just happened. My roll of saran wrap went flying. But anyway, I got it. I picked it up. So what we do is I'm gonna cover I'm gonna make like a cushion over this. Let me see if you guys can see. I'm gonna put this here. And I'm actually separating them. If you will see, let's see. Can you see that? I made like a separation. Hi Estela, God bless you. So I'm making like a separation so this way these colors will not taint and we'll be able to do all the little hankies in one. Amen? And we only got a couple to go. Now usually I don't rush this process, but because I've kept you guys so long, we're just going to do this pretty quick. This is a beautiful purple. I love it. It's not magenta, but it's not purple. It's like a mix of both. And it just mixes so beautifully with both magenta and purple. So, and the gold, with gold, it just looks so beautiful. I'm gonna put a little bit of orange in right there where the rubber band is. Let's see what happens. So there it is. Isn't it beautiful? Okay. So dip, dip, dip. Take the excess out. Put it over there. We'll see where my thing is. Clean your hands. Don't forget to do that. And we have the stones. I'm gonna squeeze them right here. Okay. Now for the stones, what you want to do is you could either color the whole thing one color, or you could do the stones individually and then add a base color. So what I have done in the past is basically I go under. So I'm gonna go under the peas with this color, and then I'm gonna go back and do Bahama blue under here and under here and under here, and then I'm gonna go here as well. Then I'm going to do teal on the top. And then for the rest of the hanky, where is my, let's do avocado. Now when I do this, I just kind of shake it around a little bit because I like the definition of the colors. So this is the first one that we did. I'm gonna add some Bahama here. Can you guys see this? And then I'm gonna go in here and add some of this too. And right on the, right here, I'm gonna add a little bit of this gold just to give it impartation. All right. And a little gold here and there, and here. Okay. All right, so I think that one is ready. And what I do is I bunch it up and kind of shake it a little bit. Take a little bit of that dye out. Put it in here. Making sure that I'm not letting this dye get into the other silks. And we just have one more to go, and then we'll put it in the microwave, and then we will reveal the end process. So here's the one with the clips with the fold. Now because it's been wet, it stays in its place, so we could take these. Hi Cristina, Dios te bendiga. Sue. Oh, this is that. That's not it. Hold on a minute. Let me see if I have it here. I'm trying to remember the name of that color so that I can give it to you. I don't see it. I don't think I have it made. But I do have to tell you that this fawn, actually, I think I mixed this with another color. There's another one in the brown that looks almost like copper. I'm gonna have to look for the name and send you the name. Hi, Juliana. So this is Teddy Bear Brown. Let me mix it a little bit. We're going to actually just I'm going along the folds. And I'm taking this fun color. Wait a second. Ooh. Gotta be careful with these things. Okay, they get clogged up and so I'm just gonna put that there like that. I'm gonna bring in some of the gold. Now this dye has been sitting there for a long time. I haven't used it in a long time. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove some of that gelled dye off from it. And I'm gonna turn this around and I'm gonna do the gold on this side. And then I'm going to place it in the pan and that's actually it. So again, we do this, put that there, fold it, let me move this back. Clean this up. You guys, we got our silks there. I'm gonna take off my gloves that I don't like. We're gonna cover this. We're gonna put it in the microwave for 5 to 6 minutes. 6 minutes is my rule of thumb. 5.5 minutes. It's good. 5 is good, especially for small pieces like this. You could even get away with 5. So we're gonna get away with 5 today. And because this pan is really large, I'm gonna do 2 layers. So make sure that I have a good seal, because you don't want your silk to dry up underneath this. You want it to remain nice and moist. You don't want it to catch on fire. And that has happened. So just make sure that it's nice and moist. And I'll be right back and we could talk while this microwaves. And let's see. Hello. You guys have any questions at all? I just love doing this. I really do. It's just so amazing. Let's see. you know, these are just separate techniques. So just have fun, you know, incorporate the same the different techniques in one silk, and just have fun. Just have fun. I have done the stones with the edging that goes like this. I have done the stitching twice. I actually, you know, the one that you go up and down. So what I have done is I have actually, you sketch on your silk. Can you guys see? So you could actually make mountains, for example, or waves of water, and then just turn around and just stitch away and have fun. You could do double stitching. I mean by that it is, let's say that you wanted to go, this is your flag, and let's say that you want to do a wave. So then you could actually just draw a wave, and then under here you do the same. So you actually go stitch the first, then stitch the second, and then you pull. The same thing with the circles. You could actually do circles like double, where they like this. So how you would do that, remember that I showed you guys how the silk actually, we folded right here. You fold it in half, and then we sew the circle like this. Remember that? So what you would do is actually you sew here, and then you sew here, and then you sew here. So then when you open it, your circle is actually a circle within a circle within a circle. So just have fun. Just have fun. And oh God, it's just amazing. I know, I can't wait to see them either. That's the fun part, the revealing. Sometimes when I start cutting away and doing it, I'll be like in the kitchen, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh wow. And my mother-in-law will be like, what's wrong? And it's because I get so excited over it that you just never know what you're gonna get. You just never know what you're gonna get. And if you let yourself the time that you spend doing this, if you let yourself enjoy it, have fun, spend it with the Lord, make it count. Make it count, like I told you guys about the music. Play music that touches your heart. Listen to the lyrics. Receive those lyrics in your heart and exude them out unto the Lord. And when you sing it with a purpose. Command your singing, command your praise and your worship. And it is so, so amazing. How did I get started? You mean doing flags? Doing the silk, if that's what you mean, before you answer, it's I started having visions in our church of like color just coming in and out during worship, and it was just flowing and flowing, and I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what it was for weeks, and I kept asking the Lord, what is that? And every time I closed my eyes, I would see them. And even when I opened up my eyes, I could see them in my mind just continuing to flow. And then it just hit me one day that there were banners. And I have never seen banners in our church before. And I started researching it, and that's when it all started. And little by little, the Lord has just been guiding me to really, really do what I do. And I just give him the glory. Everything that I do it to serve him. I do it with a heart of worship. I do it with a heart of love for him. And I just hope that these videos are able to help you guys as well. It's something, it's a blessing. It really, really, truly is a blessing that humbles you. If you're really doing it in the right way, it humbles you, because you realize that none of this is yours. Everything that you have, all these flags that you're making, I cannot call them mine. They're not mine. They are his. And they're for his kingdom. I am just the vessel. I am just the hands that he uses in order to make them. So I can't take his glory away. I cannot take credit for it because I didn't know how to do this, and nobody taught me. He taught me, and it belongs to him. It's for his kingdom, for the upbuilding of his kingdom. So I make sure that I stay humble and that I give him the glory on a daily basis, because there's just no room for anything else, really. And it has been an experience that has been so amazing. The relationship that I've always had a relationship with the Lord, but not like this. Because the time that you spend doing all these flags on a weekly basis and doing anything that you do, you learn to depend on him for everything. So even though I'm working on flags 5 days a week, most of the time, I take that with me. My process doesn't stop. My relationship and my speaking with the Lord doesn't stop. If I have to take my mother-in-law to the doctor, I'm talking to him. If I'm communing with him, I'm fellowshipping with him. The process doesn't stop. So what it has done for me, it has allowed me to see that he is there with us at all times, and that we're able to tap into him, not just through the creative process, but through life itself, through everything that we go through every day, and just know that he's there and enjoy every moment. I mean, he wants us to enjoy life. And this has just allowed me to see that anything that we do can be done in collaboration with him, can be done with him being next to us, can be done with him guiding us. And we take that for granted because we go along and we get so busy with our lives that we lose track that he is with us constantly wherever that we go. And it's really been a blessing. It really been a blessing. So when you guys take up on anything, whether it's dancing, flagging, making instruments of worship, making garments of worship, anything, Bible study, if you're teaching the kids, whatever it is, know that the Lord is always with you, and it's meant to be enjoyable. It's not supposed to be stressed. Amen. So let me go get the silk because I heard the beep and I know that you guys are excited. Hold on a minute. And I am too. All right. Let me get... This thing is so hot that if I put it on this vinyl, it will melt. So let me put something down here so that you guys can see what we're doing. I'm gonna move this around and let's see. I'm gonna put the jar here and then I'm going to actually spread this here. This thing is like super hot. There we go. And we are going to, very carefully guys, I don't want you to get burned when you're doing this. Know that this is very hot. Now, if you could actually see, the steam was able to stay in, so all the silks are nice and moist. Ooh. Yay! All right. Oh my God. So I'm just gonna put them in here, and so far they're not bleeding, so that means if they bleed, you need to put them longer in the microwave. This is that one. Put it here. Oh my God, these are beautiful. Now, I usually would not mix the colors, but because I can see that they're sealed, and my bandage just got wet, which is okay. I usually do colors that are alike. So just keep that in mind. All right. So there we are. Now, I'm gonna move this out of the way so that we could reveal these. Are you guys excited? Oh my God, I can't wait. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna move this here and I'm gonna find my little scissors. Let's see, where are they? I just had them. That's something. Every Saturday, I lose a pair of scissors that I need for later on. But we're gonna make do, right? Okay, let's see. All right. Oh my goodness, I go through this every Saturday. Have you guys noticed that? Anyway, it's all good. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? This. I should put it in there while we reveal this. I'm gonna do this one different. I'm actually going to wrap it in saran wrap. And put it in the microwave. Maybe another piece of. All right. Now, hopefully nothing will happen in there. Okay. All right, here we go. Okie dokie. Thank you, Lord. So, revealing time. Ta-doo. You guys are ready? Okay. Let's see. Which one? I should just pick randomly, right? Hold on. I need the bottom piece. This one. This is how we're gonna squeeze these things. Okay. So let's start with this one. And we're gonna squeeze it. You guys ready? All right. So remember we used the rubber band? You guys see? See if I could bring it down a little bit. Okay. All right. Here we go. Remember that we used the rubber band, or I told you to use the bead? See what happens when you pull on it? You have a space to cut it so it doesn't damage the silk. So you take this, you pull it, and then you snip right there. As easy as that. Then you turn around and you gently pull it. Oh my God, isn't that awesome? Oh, look at this. Remember that we did different sizes? This was the larger one. Oh my God, really? And we're gonna find out. So this is, remember how we did this? How we did the different sizes on the stitching? So we got different looks. So you guys are ready? Look. Oh. Now this was the largest one we did. But see, now you have an idea of what it does. So the smaller ones, the tighter it is. But then you have this one, which is one of my favorites. So it depends what kind of look you want. Isn't that pretty? That is really, really pretty. And there's those blue speckles. All right, ready for the next one? All right. Here's the other one. Now this one is the one that we did with the zip ties. And how I remove this, I actually take my little nifty, I love these things. I actually, because of the thin point, I'm able to actually go in there and pry it open without damaging the silk, because I have cut through silk trying to undo these. So what I do when I cut this here, and I undo this, it's easy for the end to come out versus having to pull the whole thing. So cut it really short to that. So I got rid of that, and then we'll go here, and I'll show you how to do it. You know, you trim it, and then you take this and or something sharp, and you push that to the other side like that, and then you're able to pull this with your thumb. I usually use my thumb to actually undo it. See? So you guys are ready for the reveal? I'm gonna start with the edges. Look at that. Now remember what was in the center of this? Isn't it so pretty? Look at that. And remember we added a little bit of blue on the ends and over here in the center. So let me dry it a little bit so that you guys can see it. There it is. Isn't that pretty? It's just so pretty. Now, was that hard? It's not that hard. I know, it's just beautiful. Let me push this here. I got more room. So let's look at the next one. Now this is a rubber band. Now the black rubber bands don't melt. So we have to cut it. And this is when you have to be very, very careful, because you don't want to cut the the silk. So what I usually do, I take the point, I lift it, and once I lift it, then I cut it. And then I unwind it. And you can see the pleating of it. The colors here are very, very light. So it's hard for you to see, but you see the white, the stitching of the white? Isn't that pretty? And this is the one that we folded as a fan. Let me dry it a little bit. Look. Isn't that pretty? They all come out so nice. And you can see where we had the rubber band. Little stitches right here. Okay, so we got that one. Oh my God, we're having fun. All right, here's that raven. Now, I'm gonna show you what happens if we're not careful. The color from another silk, if we have, this is what I was telling you, it will transfer into another one. In this case, it's cute. It actually looks nice. It's a nice mistake. It's a beautiful mistake. It's a little drop of purple into this beautiful raven silk, which it actually breaks into like a bluish color. And then here we actually tied it, and you could actually see how the thread is. So you pull it, and then you're able to cut that. And now you're able to stretch it out. You ready? Oh my God. Hold on. Hold on. Now this is done in a small hanky, but look, it's the dove. Isn't that pretty? So imagine when you do it bigger, or you use less dye and you do it tighter. Because when you do it tighter, then you don't get all that. But look at how it's still, the image itself is just beautiful. Just beautiful. Isn't this fun? This is so much fun. Okay, here's the one that we folded. Now, remember the folds? The folds create the lines. Isn't that neat? Look at this area here. I know, right? Nice and ironed. Yep, right there. The nice things about this is that sometimes you don't know what you're gonna get, and sometimes, you know, the Holy Spirit just, the Spirit of the Lord just gifts you with these wonderful images within the silk. Look at that. Can you guys see this area here? See if you guys can see it. Look at this area here. Doesn't that look like a half of a lion face? Can you guys see it? Let me lift this up a little bit so you guys can, I can bring it this way. There it is. So everything is just, now here's that one with the orange, the purple, and the magenta. And it has one of these rubber bands, which actually melted, but because I had two, it didn't go all the way, but these usually break. What you do is you basically do the same thing. You pick it up with closed scissors. Carefully that you don't nag the silk. There it goes, right there. See how it was melting? There. That's the one that I just did a freestyle. I just went like this. So you basically can do anything with these. I went like that. You could shape them into anything. You could do waves, you could do lines. Which one, Wanda? This is so beautiful. Okay, here's the little bunch that we put the blood. Now this is a big rubber band, which usually you could just go like that. Are you guys ready for this? Look at that. Hold on. It's like Starbirds. Look at the tiny details. They're like little bursts. The blood of Christ. So you see all of these make oh, this one? Yeah. That's just... Alright, here's the one that we did. Now this one is going to be a fun one. See, look. Did you guys see that? They just break apart. If you just do the singles, they just break apart. I have a couple in here, so it would be hard. But basically, they just break apart when you do singles. There they go. There. We have a lot of these. This is time consuming, especially when you do full flags full of these techniques. But it's so relaxing and it's so enjoyable. You have to be in a state of mind of enjoyment, you know. That's why I always tell you guys, don't rush the process. Enjoy it, have fun, enjoy your company with the Lord. And just have a good old time. This one is a little tough here, but I want to be careful that I don't see once I do that. Pop right out. Cut it. I love these scissors. And you can't do that with the other ones. With the black ones, you really have to cut them. They don't snap. So grab it. There. Ready? There it is. Isn't that nice? All right. I love stones. You guys ready for this one? Now this one you have to go stone by stone. We're gonna be here 3 hours today, guys. If you guys have any questions, start writing them down. There it is. This is the pea. Remember we put a pea in here, black eye pea. And then we go here. And then here, you be careful not to nag on the silk. I usually just grab the top layer and then I unwind it. You don't want to go underneath all the bands because you could nag the silk. So just grab the top one. That's all you need to do. Pull it, snap, and then kind of pull it, and then right there, just unwind it. Because you will break the silk. There. I don't want to stretch it out until I untie them all because I want you guys to be surprised. So hold on a minute. Now if you do these with thread, the lines will be thinner. This one already broke. Okay, ready? Okay. then you have a cooked pea to perfection. Don't eat it. All right, guys. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Remember the one that we did the different layers? That's what it looks like. See? It's just beautiful. It's a beautiful hanky. Now remember the one that I told you, remember that blue that you couldn't see that it was blue? Look. Let's cut this off so that you guys can see. Let's see. Look at that. Okay, hold on. Let me dry it. And then I could go take that other one. Look at the speckles. Look at what happened to that blue. And remember how we had gone across, up, and then across like that? That's the pattern that we got from that. I'm gonna go get the PVC pipe. I'll be right back. You guys can look at these right there. Oh, brothers. Okay. All is well. Thank you, Jesus. But you know what? The middle melted, which is all good. So you may want to actually use wood in the microwave. Because I usually do this technique in immersion, but you guys are gonna laugh at this. Look, it melted. But I pulled it out. Let me put it in the water. Okay. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, here we go. Let's see what this looks like. Go back over here. Okay. My goodness. This is the one that was twirled. And the rubber band was up here. See that? So no PVC in the microwave. You do the immersion technique, where you soak the silk in a solution of vinegar, and then you add the dye and leave it there overnight. Or do one color. Okay, ready? This is the last one, guys. Remember this string? Look at that. Now, we didn't get the red, although I probably think maybe, no, not really. But you can see the pattern of the yarn in it. You see that? Isn't that awesome? Yes, and yeah, you could do that too. This is the flap that was left over and I just folded it over. But basically, when you iron these, they will turn out beautiful. They are beautiful. So we have this one. We have this one. Oops. And these are all the ties. We've kept all the ties in here. I usually throw away all the rubber bands and keep the stones, but I don't keep the peas. This is that one. So imagine making flags with all these different techniques. You just incorporate them. I have incorporated 3 and 4 techniques in one. I love this. I really do. They're all unique. Like you say, Anne. Here's this one. This one. This is the one that we did like this, and then we tie the rubber band around it. The gold and the brown. The random pleating that you just go with the flow, just do it. You could do like lightning bolts and all those things, the flow of the Holy Spirit, depending on the color that the Lord has given you. The dove. If you look at this, it's just, you can see the texture of bursting. See that? This one turned out really pretty and dainty too. And you guys saw how easy it was. You know, you could go on Google and Google out what's the name of that image that is usually black and white? Oh God, I have a mental block. But you know, Google examples of those things and then just do the silhouette and just draw it, or not even draw it. You guys can put it, the silk is so thin that you could actually put it under and trace it with the blue pen. Let me see the cross. This right here, can you see it? Oh yeah. You just never know what the Lord is going to give you. It's just amazing. I love it. I love, 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 love. Here's your heart. That's pretty. That turned out really nice. And then this, and last but not least, now I want to show you, for you guys to pay attention to what that stitch did. The one that you go forward, you know, you go forward and then back like a little wave. That's what it does right there. And the lower you go, so for example, we went like this. If you go down here, it looks wider. It's really, really nice. And these were the 3 different lengths of stitches. So let me turn it around. So you guys have any questions? It's been lovely. We just spend so much time together. I'm crooked. Oh, sorry. It's been an amazing time. You guys have any questions at all? It's been amazing just spending time with you guys. I really look forward to Saturdays. Next Saturday, though, I won't be here because I have to teach in my church. So I'll be teaching to the women's group. Oh, there we go. We've been online for 3 hours. What I was saying was that I was like, is it connected? I don't know if you guys could see it. What happened? Anyway. Oh, but that's okay. Know that I won't be here next weekend because I have to teach in my church to the women's group, but I'll be here the following week, and I'm just gonna be praying for the Lord to guide me on what we can talk about. And if you guys want to know anything in particular, or you want to see another tutorial on something else, just let me know. Okay, I just love to spend time with you guys. It's been an amazing morning. It always blesses me, and just know that I'm always praying for you guys and that I love you. And then if you have any questions, just post them down on the thread and I'll go over all the questions and I'll answer. I love you guys. It's amazing. I don't even see it as a sacrifice. It's just, oh, I just love it. So I love you guys so much. And I enjoy sharing what the Lord has given me. So continue to bless others. Remember, we are blessed to bless others, and continue to love on one another and pray for one another, especially our leaders, not just in the church, but worldwide. Amen. I love you. Mwah. Have a blessed Sunday tomorrow. If you go to the house of the Lord, remember to go with a heart of worship. And even if you don't go, if you're not able to go for whatever reason, then remember that you could worship him at any time, at any day, and anywhere. I love you guys. Take good care of yourselves. Bye-bye. Mwah.